My name is Marcus. This is my co-host, Mr. Paul.
Hey there.
And thank you for joining us today on Children of Change, Stop the Violence.
Got it right this time.
Of course. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about how MLK's legacy affects us personally. What's it mean for us, as well as if whether we see it out there in society, whether with everyone just interacting or just how society operates. Just to start off, tomorrow is MLK Day. For those that don't really know, the abbreviation MLK is Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. is one of the United States, or just in general the world, one of the world's most impactful and influential figures. He was one of the biggest figureheads in regards to the civil rights movements that happened early, like 60s, 70s of the United States history. Him, as well as countless other civil rights activists, made an impact, and just in regards to how individuals treat minorities, how the government treats minorities, different processes, different steps that they just put in place in order to really safeguard equal treatment, equal rights, civil rights, as well as just basic human rights. Like, it really cemented that, and I can't thank MLK, as well as countless other civil rights leaders. Like, thanks for all the effort they put in, me and Paul as well. Like, their efforts have shown fruits in just our lives, as well as countless others, minorities, as well as just otherwise everybody. The friendships, the connections, the experiences couldn't have been made without the efforts of MLK, as well as all the countless other civil rights leaders. So once again, both want to appreciate and give the acknowledgement for those that really put that effort, put that stride, put that blood, sweat, and tears with really making or attempting to make their dreams come true. Going off from that, I'm going to go ahead and answer really the topic of why we're here, really the impact of MLK's legacy with us, as well as like whether we see that out there today. I feel as though I just talked a little bit too much with starting out the podcast, as well as just introducing everybody. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to my colleague here, Paul, and then we're gonna go on ahead. So, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. This is a new thing for us. We're hoping to make it something really big with your help, and pass it on to tell your friends, tell your family, tell your wife, tell your spouse. Please pass the word, because we think that COC, Children of Change,
Yep.
Stop the Violence, is going to be something that needs to be told, something that needs to be said. We're going to hit subjects, whether it's here in our studio, as we call it for now, or out in the street. Please look forward to seeing us out on the street. We'll be at the beach, we'll be at the park, we'll be at your corner store. We're going to be there. Look for Marcus, look for myself. At some point in time, we're going to even have little hats that say COCSTV, because we want you to recognize us and walk up to us and tell us, what are you fed up about? What do you think will make a change in our children and stop the violence in our communities? We're talking today about MLK. We have to look at a time where civil rights was taken from two fronts. Martin took it from the front of peace, tranquility, prayer. It worked for most, but not for many. Then we have to look at Malcolm, who took it from a point where we had to take it to the streets, get down, mean and ugly, and we had to take it to violence. Now, I have to ask your opinion on this, Marcus. Who do you think made more of an impact? I mean, I know Martin, people feel like he made more of an impact because of his speeches, because of the way he gathered people together. But do you think he made more of an impact in our communities, or do you think Malcolm did?
I mean, me just being honest, Malcolm X is a really dynamic figure, because yes, in the beginning of his civil rights leadership and his civil rights movement, he did push for more of an aggressive way of trying to establish change.
Right.
Slap us in the face, we'll slap you back. You kill one of us, we'll kill you. That was his mentality in the beginning. But for the most part, like, I understand that after so much hatred, after so much just, with so much, pardon my language, with just so much bullshit, without retaliation, there's just so much a human being, so much people can handle. But after Malcolm went out of country and had his enlightenment, he did come back with a different perspective. He did come back with a more tranquil perspective, and for the most part, a lot of people didn't recognize that, and a lot of people didn't really recognize and really accept that type of Malcolm. They were so used to the aggressive one that when he did come back and he wanted more of a passive movement like MLK, like Martin did, a lot of people didn't agree with that. So when you don't agree with something in that time, in an extreme time, you eliminate that disagreement. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Malcolm.
So,
But
what do you think got him killed? Do you think his peaceful movement when he came back got him killed, or do you
No.
think his more violent approach
I think
was an extension of what got him killed?
it wasn't necessarily either at the time. It was more of like the impacts and the fruits that he laid before he left.
Right.
It was mainly he was killed because of a disagreement between four. I mean, it was a fellow follower, but it was more of like a follower of his former teachings, of his former path. A lot of people that followed Malcolm at that time really stuck with that, ideology, because for the most part they either lost something or someone very close to them, and that's really all that they see, that anger, that revenge. And when Malcolm changed his tune, when Malcolm changed his tune, it was like, I've lost what I believed in, and people get upset. And that's what happened when somebody's upset and they don't know what to do next. They take it out on what made them upset. People wanted Malcolm to go on to an aggressive at the time. Some followers wanted Malcolm to go to an aggressive movement and firebomb and Molotovs and all that. But Malcolm was going to do a speech at a theater at that time. And so when he showed up at the theater, that same follower showed up and gunned him down, right when just before he was about to show up. So just leading back to the question of which movement, I guess, would make more of an impact. Made more of an impact. I would say MLK's, because for the most part, you get to somebody more impactful when you chip at them more. Like being aggressive and stuff like that, you might get an immediate answer, you might get an immediate response, but it might not be overlasting. It might not be lasting because it's more like, in my opinion, the heat of the moment. Like even though yes, Malcolm touched a lot of people, but aggression is only gonna cause aggression, and it's always just a constant, endless cycle. But with Martin, it was more positive. Like you can't really combat positive with negative. It has to be more positive. And more positive leads to more positive, and that's always good. Like even though somebody's going to be negative all the time, or somebody doesn't really combat what you're trying to say, or more of a negative mindset, it takes more energy to be negative than it is to be positive. You're going to have more resistance with being positive. I mean, you're going to have more resistance to negativity if you're positive, because it's not going to judge you, it's not going to hit you, it's not going to stick. Because you don't worry about that. You don't worry about things that are beneath you. So with Martin, all this negativity, which I respect, all this negativity that keep hitting him, but he just brushed it off and kept going. And if you keep doing negativity and it's not working, you're gonna give up. But positivity, there's always in my opinion, there's always good that comes out of positivity.
I got one quick question because our time is about to run out, and our producer's back there kind of giving us the finger again. My quick question is, since Malcolm, do you think in our time, our lifetime, there's been anyone that's followed in their footsteps that brung our people together the way they brung our people together? Or do you think there's anyone to come? Quick question, quick answer, because we're about to have to wrap this segment up.
The quickest answer would be nobody in that definite mindset, nobody of that definite stature or that definite standing. But there are individuals out there, celebrities, just everyday people like you and me that are trying to make an impact, that are making an impact in our society. And they're in a way still carrying on MLK's as well as later in life Malcolm's legacy. They're still trying, they're still doing it, but maybe not on the same level. With that aspect, I want to say thank you to everybody that joined us today on this podcast. I want to thank Paul for joining me today on this conversation, on this discussion. Once again, I want to invite and encourage a lot of people to please join us. Please check us out. If you're interested, if you have a suggestion, please let us know. Give us a nice little talking point. Come see us out there. Like Paul said, if you do see us out there, you do see us trying to do some, not really invitationals, but just interviews, just let us know. But once again, thanks again.
Guys, thank you. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight.